Welcome. Today, we're going to break down a topic that's sensitive for sure, but also really important: the connection between fibromyalgia and certain urinary symptoms. These are the kinds of issues that can be tough to talk about, but understanding them, that's the very first step toward taking back control. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at the big picture, the whole fibromyalgia puzzle. Then we'll zoom in on some really specific urinary symptoms like pungent urine, frequency, and incontinence. And we'll finish up by talking about clear, practical steps you can actually take to get a handle on things. So first things first, let's talk about why fibromyalgia can feel so incredibly complicated and honestly confusing to navigate. Does this question hit home? If it does, you're in good company. One of the biggest challenges of fibromyalgia is just the sheer variety of symptoms. It can be really, really hard to know what's actually related to the condition and what might be something else entirely. And that right there is the problem, because the symptoms are all over the map. Some small, some big. It's so easy to mistake them for other things. This complexity means you really have to learn how to separate the signals from the noise, which, let's be honest, can cause a ton of stress and fear. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It really gets to the heart of the matter. Knowledge is everything. Understanding what is and what isn't a recognized symptom, that is the absolute first step toward actually managing this thing, instead of letting it manage you. Okay, let's shift gears to a very specific clue. It's one that might feel a little awkward to discuss, but it's a known symptom, and we absolutely need to talk about it. Now, not everybody with fibromyalgia is going to have this, but it's a pretty significant indicator that you just shouldn't ignore. Think of it as one more piece of the puzzle that can really help a doctor see the full picture. So, you might be wondering, just how common is this? Well, the data is pretty clear. It can affect as many as 1 in 4 people with fibromyalgia. And why is that number so important? Because it proves you're not alone. This is a documented, recognized symptom. It's not something you're just imagining, and it's definitely not something you have to deal with in silence. Okay, so beyond smell, there are other really common bladder issues, and they often come as a pair: frequency and urgency. It's actually really important to know the difference between these two. Frequency is all about how often you have to go, which can be completely exhausting. But urgency, that's that sudden panic feeling of, I have to go right now. And both of them can seriously mess with your daily life and maybe worst of all, your sleep. And the impact here goes way beyond just being a minor inconvenience. We're talking about having to plan your whole day around where the nearest bathroom is. We're talking about your sleep getting broken up night after night, and just dealing with that constant discomfort that comes with it. Sometimes all of this can lead to an even bigger challenge, and that is urinary incontinence. This can be an incredibly tough and frustrating symptom to live with. It might be tied to the overall fatigue of fibromyalgia or just a weakening of bladder control. But understanding the different forms it can take is the key to getting the right kind of help. So it's helpful to know there are basically 4 main types, and each one has a different trigger. You've got urge incontinence, which is that sudden rush; stress incontinence, which happens with physical pressure, like when you cough or laugh; overflow, which is more like a constant small leak; and then functional, which is about physically not being able to get to a bathroom in time. So, after all that, the most important question is, what can you actually do about it? Let's talk about the path to taking control of these symptoms. And honestly, this is the most critical message of all. You have to find the courage to talk openly with your doctor. It's the non-negotiable first step. They can't help you with a problem they don't even know you have. Pushing past that feeling of embarrassment is absolutely vital. And here's what that path looks like. It all starts with that conversation with your doctor. From there, you can start to explore other things, like physical therapy to help strengthen muscles, or talk about medications that might help. And if you need to, you can even move on to more advanced treatments. Let's look at some real examples here. For physical therapy, you're often looking at things like Kegel exercises. When it comes to medication, muscle relaxants or even certain antidepressants can work wonders to reduce bladder spasms. And for those tougher cases, there are advanced options out there, like electrical stimulation or even surgery. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this: these urinary issues are recognized symptoms of fibromyalgia. They are not something you just have to put up with. There are effective treatments out there, and the whole journey to relief starts with understanding what's happening and having a conversation. So we'll leave you with this final thought to kind of chew on. Just thinking about this one question ahead of time can be incredibly empowering. It can be the thing that helps you start that crucial conversation with your doctor and get on the path to feeling better.